Welcome to today's fiction. If you like it, click on it. I wish you all the best. Good things happen. The mob boss confessed his love to me. I said, let's try a kiss first. I kissed him and started to dry heave. He looked serious and cupped my face with one hand. It's okay, I'm sick. Don't worry about it. In order to pay off my dad's $5 million gambling debt, I became a sexy dance host. It didn't go well. I ran into a small startup company. The company gets 90 of the profits and I only get 10. On top of that, the company has to charge me some training fees for some reason. I think that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. But I was still living a positive life. Until my living room appeared a consumer level 60 big boss. And this boss is still in my living room from level 1 slowly brush into level 60. One day, he sent me a private message. Hello, can we meet? I automatically classified him as a rogue that I encounter every day. Oh no, he's a polite hooligan. I'm sorry, our boss doesn't allow offline meetings. Let's talk about it in the studio. The next day, he came to my living room on time and swiped the most expensive gift. And he changed his name to Zhu Rong, the boss of Star Entertainment. Good guy directly become my boss. This time, I can't avoid it. But I didn't want to sacrifice myself for my career. So I showed up that day wearing flip-flops, big trousers, big t-shirt, and a chicken head. One of my flip-flops broke on the way. I clenched my toes tightly before I reached my destination. I sent him a message. Boss, where are you? He replied immediately. He's squatting on the side of the road smoking a cigarette. I looked up and searched. I met Zhu Rong's eyes. He was wearing a black sports vest. His long, muscular arm was resting on his knee. The other hand is pressing the cigarette but on the ground to extinguish it. He turned his face to the side and his deep eyes stared at me from afar. The stud in his left ear was shiny and metallic. Holy shit. I thought it was a 50-year-old man, but I didn't realize it was a trendy guy in his 20s. Is it too late for me to go back and change? He's coming my way. I'm sure of it. I walked in his direction. I left the soles of my broken flip-flops where they were. This time, my toes are so strong that I can snap out the love castle. Zhu Rong took one look at me, turned around and finished running. My love has left me. I sat on the stone pier ready to take a taxi. The stone cairn was hot in the sun. I have no place to stay, so I can only let my beautiful buttocks be roasted. I hoped it wouldn't collapse. After all, I had to earn money from the old rascal at night. It wasn't long before my love returned. He was carrying a pair of trainers. I'm sorry. I was pressed for time. I didn't have time to pick them out, so I went to my regular shop and bought you a pair. I looked at the latest love trainers inside. The life of a rich man is good. He took me to a fancy restaurant for dinner. He didn't say much on the way, just like he did in the live broadcast. He seldom interacted with me. He only swiped gifts. I don't think you'll have a good impression of me today. It was the first time I ate at such a fancy restaurant. I even ate the side dishes. When I was full, I found him staring at me with his chin in his hand. Help! He's so handsome. He suddenly wiped my mouth with a tissue and asked, Why are you drooling? I smiled awkwardly and said, I was craving for such a delicious dish. He raised his hand. Waiter, one more of the dishes that were just served. He still didn't talk much when he took me home. I sat in the car and kept talking to him. When we got to my door, he looked at my 20-room flat and pondered. Is this where you live? Yes, it's cheaper. Not many people live here. I don't have to worry about disturbances. It's not very safe here, is it? It's remote. I'm trying to beat off. I put 3 locks on my door. I can't guarantee absolute security, but it's comforting. It's okay, You don't have to care about me, and you don't have to assign me staff quarters. I'll be fine on my own. He opened the window. After a moment of silence, he said, "You marry me. Move to my villa. Shouldn't you see me as pathetic and then arrange staff quarters for me?" I thought to myself, our family has a special ability. Mom told me before she died, we can tell if someone is in love by kissing. But my mom died young. She didn't tell me how kissing would feel if it's true love. I looked at Zurong's serious eyes. "You want to get married? Fine, let's try kissing first." So I kissed her. Zurong doesn't even close his eyes when he kisses. It makes me shy. But just after I kissed him, I held the seat and retched. The corner of my mouth collapsed to the floor. When I wiped it clean, he cupped my face with one hand. "You didn't get it." Threatening. A naked threat. But I like to say it felt good at the time, even though I was gagging. This can't be true love, can it? I looked at his handsome face. I had a hard time spitting out a few words. "Don't worry about me, I'm pregnant. I plan to marry Zurong. I can't pay off my gambling debt for the rest of my life." But Zurong said he doesn't like to force himself on others either. He agreed to divorce when I found true love. I found out later. Zurong is a gangster. He is the second son of Zhu Group. The group is managed by his elder brother. There are two brothers, white and black. I asked him why he chose me to get married. There are thousands of good-looking anchors. He said he found out I owed a lot of money, but I could still laugh. He felt very touched. "I hope I'll be happy when I come home when I'm tired." I laughed and asked if a rich man would still be tired. He wrapped his arms around my waist. "Sometimes go out to beat people fist would also be tired of." I trembled with fear. He smiled and wrapped his arms around me a little more tightly. "But when I go home, my hands are for hugging you." That's what he did to me. But when we went to see my father, he had a knife in his hand. My father is a terrible man, but he's not that bad. Zurong brought 2 carloads of gifts on the day he met his parents. Oh no, to be precise, one of the cars was also a gift for my dad. My dad loves money. He was about to open his mouth to smile. Zurong took out a knife from his pocket. My dad was so scared that he turned blue. Especially with Zurong's tattoo on his arm, he almost wrote "Time a Gangster" on his head. I suddenly remembered. After my mom left, my dad has become even more outrageous. He wouldn't listen to anyone but the triads who were collecting debts. Zurong held down my dad's hand with one hand. With the other hand, he raised the dagger up high. When the dagger fell, it stuck firmly next to my dad's little finger. My dad was so scared that his legs went limp at once. Zurong said without expression, "I liked Nana. I shouldn't have done this to you. But you and the unscrupulous company tricked Nana into signing the contract. What's the difference between that and selling your daughter?" It was only then that I realized. When I was hesitating to sign the contract, my dad was always pushing me to sign it. I just thought he was being pressed for money again. I was so angry that my eyes turned red and I took a big step forward. Zurong took me by one hand, whispering in my ear, "It's all right, let me be the bad guy." Only then did I stop. After all, my dad is my only family now. You brought Nana into this world. I'm grateful to you. But I hope you won't use her as a tool to pay off your debts. As long as you don't continue to gamble, I'll treat you with respect. But if I hear that you've gone back to gambling, your little finger, I'll take it." Zurong drew his dagger. My dad immediately took his hand back and looked at Zurong with a horrified face. But the amazing thing is, later at the dinner table, Zurong acted as if nothing had happened just now. He made a respectful toast to my dad. They even laughed and talked. But my dad soon proved that he was faking it. In the middle of the night, my dad woke me up and said he wanted to take me to escape. He'd paid me back anyway. Let's run away in the night. I couldn't help but be sarcastic. You were so happy to sell your daughter. Why are you pretending now? Those people were talking a lot about it. I didn't know it was a trap. Where are we going? To another city to continue the traffic jam. Go to sleep. I ignored my dad and went to bed alone. In a daze, someone suddenly grabbed me by the waist. I gave you a chance to run away. You won't be able to run away again. After I married Zhu Rong, I moved to his villa, but I still have nothing to do every day. I really don't like the feeling of pleasing others. But after a few months of eating and drinking, I got bored again. Zhu Rong became a bit clingy since he got married. One day, I was lying on his lap reading a novel and had a sudden idea to say, I've read this book 4 or 5 times already. It's really my favorite. I used to fantasize about it being remade into a TV series. I'd be the female lead. I didn't mean to say it. I've heard that it's true. Zhu Rong really bought the rights of the novel. He asked me if I want to play the female lead role. I have nothing to do anyway. I just want to make a small web series. I don't think anyone will watch it. It's just for fun. I hugged his neck. Okay, who's the lead actor? He's my favorite hero in the novels. He's immortal. Zhu Rong is impossible. He's a gangster. He's not suitable to appear on TV often. So he promised to find me a satisfactory candidate. Then I looked at the name of the hero. I was dumbfounded. My ex-boyfriend, Neil, the film star. Neil was my first love. But after he learned that I owed so much money, and he was planning to enter the entertainment industry, so he broke up with me. I was heartbroken for a long time. I didn't realize he's a film star now. He never acted in films, but now he's acting in a small-budget web series. But when we meet again, we'll treat each other as strangers. On my first day on the set, I read the script. Zhu Rong accompanied me. I saw Neil reading the script. Hi, how are you? I said politely. Neil smiled slightly. Hello, ex-girlfriend. Oh my god, I'm blowing up. I'm going to blow up too. Zhu Rong, who was planning to just drop me off and then leave, isn't working now either. He moved a small bench and sat beside the director. Director, I repeat. All intimate scenes must use stunt doubles. The director wiped his sweat. Okay. Who asked Zhu Rong to be the investor?